Hey all, this is 012 Boku, and I'm coming at you with another review on. I'm sorry, I know my. Let's try and do that. Sorry about that, but yeah, it's Fullmetal Alchemist again, the original. Again, back to Fullmetal Alchemist. And as well, on a side note, I'll tell you guys, hopefully me and Jarrett can get to it soon, but we'll be going back to, believe it or not, Twin Peaks soon. So, thumbs. That will be awesome. Twin Peaks. But anyway, with Full Metal Alchemist here, we are on episode. Where did I just have it on my notes here? Yeah, episode oh boy, I didn't write down the number, but it's called The Phantom Thief. And the Phantom Thief episode has the Elrics. Well, let me, for posterity reasons, I forgot to bring on. Yeah, we've been on the second disc. Oh, that's episode 10. Episode 10, The Phantom Thief. So, again. And with the Phantom Thief, the Elrics are on their way back to see Roy Mustang, and Edward is not ecstatic about it. Alphonse sees no reason. They're playing cards too, and Edward is mopping the floor with Alphonse cards. Of course, Edward is cheating. We see later in the episode he's got cards hidden up his sleeve, but he's not looking forward going back to see Roy Mustang and everything, and they actually head to a town. Let's see, I think I wrote the town down. Oh yeah, Agragoya or something it's called. They head to a town to basically just take in the sights, have a good time. Because again, Edward doesn't want to see Roy Mustang, and he knows Roy's gonna, probably lecture him about not finding the stone with Father Leor and everything like that. All the way back in episode 1, because we're also back in current time. Edward is 15 years old, Alphonse is 14, and so there's that as well to keep you guys up on the current events. But while they're in Agrigoya, they know there's this one thief they hear about who's called Psiren, who is essentially this alchemist who uses alchemy to commit her crimes. She uses playing cards, she's good with water, she knows all these different types of powers. Edward gets arrested at some point by the detective trying to track her down. He doesn't trust any alchemist. He thinks every alchemist is working with Psiren who could come there. So Edward gets arrested. There's a call to Roy Mustang, a tongue lashing for the detective, and the detective actually uses Edward to try to track down Psiren. Edward is given a whole bunch of food and different things, which causes food poisoning. They go to the hospital where they meet Claire, who's this kindly nurse. Alphonse is smitten with Claire. Something about Claire reminds him of his mother. Edward doesn't see the relation, but there's this thing with Claire between the three of these characters, and well, three meaning the third one being Claire. And as it goes along, they try to stop Psiren. Psiren's there. Psiren drops a drop of water in there to create a steam to cover her tracks, and she escapes with this crown. And as she's escaping with the crown, Edward is ahead, and he traps Psiren for a minute. Psiren uses her cards to try to, as a sword to try to attack him. Edward tackles her to the ground, and then, one boob touch later, he gets up off of her, and, he's sort of asking her what she's doing and about. Believe it or not, Edward brings up the Philosopher's Stone, seeing the skill that Psiren has and hoping she knows something about it. Psiren says, no, I don't know anything about it, but you know what, if I do hear anything, I'll keep my debts, because any kids or people who are good or as cute as you, I'll allow those things. Oh wait, actually I forgot, that comes later, because but after Edward has the boob touch and stopping Psiren opens up her coat, blasts a whole bunch of explosions and cards at Edward, trapping him on the ground. She escapes, and then later on in the episode, Edward discovers that Claire is Psiren. She's got the same pattern of the alchemic symbol on her chest, that she basically sucks up nutrients from a flower to get its medicine. Obviously, I'm going to say through liquefied means. Alphonse stumbles in on this. Alphonse is trying to make up an excuse for Claire, saying, you're trying to save the hospital. And Claire's like, it's true. The hospital's about to be broken down. I'm doing this so, I commit crimes to save this town. All of a sudden, next crime, Psiren actually does get caught in a trap she can't escape. Edward helps her out of it, and Edward, that's where the demand for the Philosopher's Stone comes in, and Psiren's like, Psiren Claire's like, if I hear anything, I'll let you know, because I repay my debts to people. And then, they think the hospital's going to be saved. Boom! Explosion. Hospital's been destroyed and condemned and shut down. And then, they're wondering, what Claire's going to do. They see Claire as a 9, and, Edward isn't buying it, but Alphonse is still in Claire's holy light, thinking she means to save this church. All of a sudden, Alphonse brings up the following night to Edward that Psiren struck again and she'll save the church. Boom! Dust. The church has been destroyed and condemned and closed. And then, they're all wondering, Alphonse is thinking in his head there's got to be an explanation for this. And Edward's like, no, she's swindling us. And then, you see Claire is a school teacher this time, and, thinking, oh, you're trying to save the school, and, Edward isn't buying it. It gets to the point in the episode where Edward does lay a trap for Psiren, and they have a little bit of a standoff where, basically, with a water attack, Psiren sends Edward into the lake to where it looks like he could drown or at least be injured. She's, trying to get away. Edward then, under the water, through the bottom of the channel that the lake is in, creates this stone fist that catches Psiren, Claire's boat, and then encloses on her. It's lucky he didn't kill her, because it looks like he could have killed her with that, but they essentially, capture Psiren. Alphonse is worried, the detective is all happy. Edward is, saying, you shouldn't be committing crimes still. I know you may have a purpose, but hey. And, it's through this, too, right before he captured Psiren, that he learns from the townspeople that, the town of Agrigoya is sinking into the lake, and within, every year a little bit sinks into it more, and within, 5 years, the whole town will be underwater. So, sort of making, the thing to, Venice, Italy, or any of the famous Italian towns who are on the ocean instead of on the islands who are sinking beneath the sea, obviously, as you can tell. But, that was another reason why, Edward did what he did, because there was a point to it, but at the same time, he knew he had to stop, Psiren Claire, and, that he was, because he believes in good and, wants to uphold the law. And, Psiren, as a gesture of good faith and as a good combatant, says, let's do this again sometime. I wouldn't mind learning more alchemy from you boys or challenging you again when I can, Edward. But she said, go to the town of Zellum. I've heard, there's something there with the Philosopher's Stone. At least that's what I think it was called. I basically ran out of room. I forget. Xenotime. So I did write it down. It's Xenotime, not Zellum. Xenotime. Go to the town of Xenotime, where people have been researching the Philosopher's Stone. So it seems like the Elrics are going to head to Xenotime, and, Claire's being taken away by the detective. Claire's like, Maya, it's warm in here. Would you mind taking down my zipper for my thing? You hear the detective and the officers basically scream, and, there's an explosion, and Psiren's free again to commit her crimes in the town. And, overall, this was a fun, good episode. Again, the search for this Philosopher's Stone continues, so there was an importantness to this episode that I enjoyed. It also gave a gravitas where they're seeing different, alchemic people, where they can do good things. Because, it's sort of hinted at that Claire's doing this to give the town life, and, the town is, trying to survive and live again, but yet Psiren is still stealing valuable works of art, valuable things. So she's that, in between of doing good and being a criminal, where Alphonse can see the good. Edward doesn't know, he's not sure. but you know, he believes he stopped a criminal, and Alphonse is like, you know she did good, brother, you know she did, and all those types of things. So it's sort of that, you know, in between. But it's a very fun and good episode, and it continues on their search for the Philosopher's Stone, given the tip that Psiren gives. Again, for this one, I have to give it to, well, basically I have to give it to these three, or no, four characters. Edward, Vic Mignogna, Romy Paku. You know, great performance from Edward on both sides of this one. Romy Paku and Vic Mignogna gave a great performance. You know, it was really well done. Alphonse, Aaron Dismuke, Rie Kugamiya, great performance from those two. You know, well done, and just, you know, it's very good to hear, and, you know, like the motherly quality and the childlike quality that comes out of Alphonse in this, you know, remembering his mother, being attracted to Psiren, almost gushing over her for both Aaron Dismuke and Rie Kugamiya is a joy to hear. It's very fun, actually. Clara, who played Lucy Christian, Mio Shirashi, you know, great performances from them. I liked Mio Shirashi. Mio Shirashi was good, but I have to give it to Lucy Christian. Lucy Christian gave it a bit more gravitas that I enjoyed, you know, really good stuff. For the detective, I have to give it to Mark Stoddard and Fumihiko Tatsuki. Just a fun-loving, you know, goofy detective, you know, very Inspector Gadget-like, as being a jerk, we're pointing out in this one. So a fun role for Mark Stoddard, and I love Mark Stoddard's performance in this. But again, what did you guys think? Do you guys like this episode of Fullmetal Alchemist, the Phantom Thief as well, too? Have you even seen anything, you know, with this original show and whatnot? Just, you know, leave a comment down below, and we'll get back to you guys again soon, alright? Until then, Owantuboku, and, you know, we'll see you guys later, alright?